Hey Tam, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good and yourself. Thank you for joining us first and foremost.
Of course, of course.
So, do you prefer Tam, Tamara? What should we be calling you?
You can call me Tam. That's fine.
All right. Thank you again for obviously joining the program and giving us an opportunity to introduce you to our audience and just talk to you a bit. First and foremost, congratulations on all your success as a amateur and now as a pro. Um, if you want to talk about obviously your Olympic run, I would love to dive into that a little bit. You had two attempts, 2 different years. You tried in 2020 and 2024. What was that experience like going to the Olympics and at least getting as far as you did?
I mean, going to the Olympics is a one in a lifetime opportunity. Even though it didn't go my way, I got to live it twice, right? So I'm very grateful for the opportunity and everything that I've done in my amateur career. I've got a really big, you know, amateur background. I've done a lot of great things. I've done a lot of great things for my country, for women's boxing. So I'm very proud of that. I'm very, very proud of everything that I've accomplished.
Yeah, I see that you're a big advocate for equality in women's boxing and you came out the bat with 3-minute rounds. Was that something that was, I guess, on your mind all on its own, or was that the influence of Amanda Serrano and signing with MVP?
I mean, I feel like our values align a lot, which with MVP, which is why I made the choice to go with them. You know, um, I'm accustomed to 3 minutes, right? So 2 minutes is it's something I've done in the past as a youth and at the beginning of my senior career. But for me, 3 minutes was a no brainer because, well, it's what I'm used to. Do you know what I mean? And it is a lot of work,
If I
and it's
could
definitely different
interrupt,
than there.
when you
Go
say
ahead.
it's what you're used to, just for my audience that may not know, you're speaking specifically sparring. You spar 3-minute rounds versus fighting 2-minute rounds. So you're saying you're used to it because of your training?
I'm used to it because of my amateur background. Like women fight three threes just like the men do in the Olympics. There's no difference between them, right? In terms of the bouts and the rules and so on and so forth, except for no headgear. That's something that's different between us, which is not something I'm an advocate for in amateur boxing, anyways. I think professionals should be professional, and when you get to the amateurs, it's different. It's a different story. Um, so I'm used to fighting 3 minutes. I've been fighting 3 minutes for since 2016. So it's been 8 years, right? So going back to twos for me, it might be a possibility. I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but I definitely an advocate for the 3 minutes.
So obviously, your dad inspired you to become a boxer with his knockout when you were only 10.
Hmm.
Now you're knocking out stereotypes as a vegetarian boxer. What's the craziest myth about a plant-based athlete that you've had to shut down in the boxing world specifically?
I think it's the fact that you can't get enough protein. I think there's a lot of variety and there's a lot you could do and there's a lot of ways to get all the nutrients that you need as a high performance athlete. I don't think it's just in boxing. I think it's just as an athlete in general. Like you could do so much and there's so many possibilities. Even now in the time, in the day and age that we are now, it's very easy to stay on that.
So, in terms of winning the world title, obviously your name is a global name because of your Olympic background, signing to an American based promoter in Jake Paul. Where would you want that first world title to be?
I think it would only be right if it was at home. Like I've traveled the world, I've boxed on all different stages and all different kinds of places, but it would mean the world to, box at home, to be around my people. So many people have supported me and I want to bring that back.
So, you fought Natasha Spence as your first fight, and man, that was a huge step up. I know that you guys know each other, but was there any concerns in stepping up to the level of Spence as your pro debut, or was this something that you and your team both were on the same page about?
No, we're definitely on the same page. I think, I've got a really big background in boxing. Of course, I'm new to the professional world, and it's very different. Like I'm still, getting used to it. I'm still getting rounds in, trying to understand what the difference is, and also trying to adapt my styles to the difference in the game as well. So, but we're really happy with my pro debut, and fighting against someone like, Spence shows like where my level's at, and like where I want to go.
Was there any, I guess, what was the train of thought behind fighting her in a 4 rounder? Because it shows that you're systematically going up 2 rounds at a time, but your skill level shows that you could have probably did like Andy Cruz, another fellow Olympian, and started at a 10 rounder. So what was the, I guess, the logic behind choosing such a high level opponent but only doing 4 rounds?
I think it's a question of, you know, starting, right? It's very different. I've always worn headgear. Um, I've done 3 rounds as a fight, right? I've sparred way more, but I did 3 rounds as a fight. So it was just a question of getting adapting to the professional world. And I think that's also very important. Like, yes, I have a big amateur background. I've been boxing for nearly 20 years now, but I'm very well aware that this is new, right? And this is a new challenge, this is a new chapter, and I'm not in any rush to get anywhere, but I definitely want to make sure that I'm taking the right steps to advance my career in a way that will benefit me and that will, you know, help me progress in the long run. We don't want to skip any steps.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, your next opponent is Sonia Drelling. That's another notable name in the boxing world in terms of female boxing. Um, who's your manager, and is this, I guess, strategic to make sure you're getting recognizable names that the boxing public knows?
Of course, yeah. My manager is Katia Benel, and that's something that we discussed. Is that we're we're here to fight, but we're also here, to change the sport. And there's like with the level of boxing that I have, like I should be stepping it up. I should be facing good opponents. Like that's what I'm used to, and that's where I want to go. And it's only gonna get harder, right? So if I'm gonna get the rounds in, I'm gonna get the fights in. Might as well get them with people who've been around for a long time.
Is there a, I don't want to say hidden agenda, but is there an ulterior motive that you're using boxing as the catalyst to get you to a position of maybe political power?
I don't know yet. I feel like I'm someone that's very diverse. I'm a very diverse person, so of course, like I am still very much so involved with the World Boxing Organization with the amateurs. I'm on the athlete committee. I'm someone who's a big advocate for women's boxing, but I'm also a big advocate for the athletes, and that's not something that's going to change as well. Um, but we'll see what the future holds. Like right now, I'm an athlete and I'm doing a little bit more in different projects, like you say, with World Boxing, with Pan Am Sports. Again, I'm very, very involved in sport. I think sport is very important. It's a big part of my life, and I want to transmit that passion elsewhere in other spheres of my life, and other spheres can help other athletes grow and become better individuals.
No, absolutely. It just seems like from everything I read, you're into empowering women, equality, um, climate change. You're a vegetarian, so I didn't know if maybe this was just a way for you to become famous enough to make the change in the world that you're looking to make.
That's a very interesting perspective. That's a really interesting perspective. Uh, I haven't really thought about it that way. Honestly, I think I'm someone that I just try to do the right thing. I'm someone from a very, very young age that's wanted to have an impact, a positive impact on the world. I always grew up believing like I want to leave the world a better place than I came into it, right? And I've had the opportunity to do that through something I love. Like I love boxing. I'm very, very lucky because not many people get to live out their passions. Not many people get to say, hey, like I get to go when I go to work every day, I love it. You know what I mean? Like I love what I do, and on top of that I get to have a positive impact either on people's lives or uh, in my other sphere, like I'm an urban designer and urban planning graduate student. So it's like I'm always doing something to create change that will impact people's lives positively.
To be clear, earning planning is like I guess housing for minorities, right?
So urban design and urban planning is essentially uh it's a lot of things.
Okay.
But it's like planning spaces. The best way and the simplest way I could describe it is planning places, creating spaces for people to live, work, play, whether that's in terms of planning spaces that are sustainable in terms of environment, whether that's planning places in terms of sustainable, in terms of socially, because there's a lot of inequality in cities, in urban settlements. So it's also a question of like working with different people to make spaces that are equitable.
So, estaba leyendo y escuché que tú sabes hablar español y también cuatro diferentes lenguajes, ¿es verdad?
Sí,
Oh,
aprendí español porque tenía un entrenador que era cubano, ¿sí?
wow.
¿Cierto? Ya.
Okay. So your boxing trainer was Cuban? Or
Ajá,
was it your
yes.
Spanish teacher that was Cuban?
Mi entrenador.
Okay, okay. Nice,
Mhm.
nice. And I seen you speak Mandarin. What made you study Mandarin?
So So I had started. I didn't obviously finish because I changed degrees. So I'm someone that takes on the world. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes not so much a good thing, right? Sometimes the world can be a little too much for your gal. But I studied linguistics. So originally I had studied Spanish. I started Mandarin. I studied Farsi as well. Now I'm learning a little bit. Now I'm learning Arabic. So
Okay.
I'm very good at languages. Uh, Originally I was like, I'm gonna study in this. Turns out it's more of a hobby than a profession, which is why now I design places because I feel like that's where I found my other passion. Uh, but yeah, I don't speak Mandarin anymore because like I dropped it like years ago. But maybe I'll get back around to it. Who knows?
So having the ability to speak all these languages, how many of them have you used to trash talk your opponents?
None. None. Nah, no. I don't. Do you know what like? I know this is gonna sound really cliche, right? But I am genuinely a girl's girl. Like at the end of the day, like in the ring, it's not personal. Like I ain't got nothing bad to say about anyone because I don't know you. Like, and even if I did, like I'm like, oh damn, she's a nice girl. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to I'm not here to trash talk people. I'm not here to get in anybody's head. I'm here to do my job. Like at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like I don't need to talk someone down. I don't need validation from other people. I know what I'm worth. I know the work that I put in. And at the end of the day, when we get in there, may the best woman win. It's that simple.
Well, I don't know if you've ever watched Conor Ben versus Samuel Vargas, and he revealed his Spanish versus Vargas. Boxing world went crazy. We didn't know Conor could speak so well. Obviously, after that, we've interviewed him and found out he was raised in, Spain for some time. But I think that the Spanish certainly opens up a different market, right? Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, they die for this sport.
Of
So yeah,
course.
just something to consider for sure when you're in your face-offs. Everybody give them both English and Spanish.
Listen,
But
don't get me wrong, right? Like if I have something to say, I will say it, right? I ain't gonna let people walk all over me. Don't get me wrong, right? I I've got my own pride, and I'm confident. I ain't got something to say, but you know, ain't no need to hurt nobody's feelings for no reason.
Well, no, when I said trash talk, I didn't specifically mean you being disrespectful, but you know that at the face off or the weigh in, you guys are going to say something to each other. Nowadays, ever since Jarrell Miller and Anthony Joshua, all the fighters are mic'd up now. So, just a good opportunity to debut those languages that you picked up. But I got a few questions from the people, and yeah, we're gonna get to those. First one is from Polo Buck. That says, "Why 3 minute rounds?"
Again, I just do 3 minute. I do 3 minute rounds because it's something that's natural to me. It's something that I've done for so long, and I want to keep doing. Right. And there's not much thought that goes into it. It's just what I do, and that's what I prefer, and we should have the choice to do that.
Well, I guess build on that. So you're doing 3 minutes, but has the pay changed? Are they telling you like, yeah, you could do 3 minutes, but we're not gonna give you more money?
No, everything is equivalent, and and I get
Okay,
paid what I need to get paid to do that, and
perfect,
I think that's all.
perfect.
That's part of it, right?
Because I visited the WBC conventions numerous years, and that's a heavy topic amongst the women. And I truly think that you guys, as professional boxers, need to first have your own women's summit, get on one page, because there's some of you that want 3 minutes, there's some of you that don't. There's some that study the information that's out there on why you shouldn't do 3 minutes. There's others that say, look, we spar every day 3 minutes. Um, so yeah, I think that the women need to get on the same page. There's a lot. I've been again numerous of the conventions, and you guys are never on the same page. Like maybe more of the popular ones want 3 minutes, but some of the other ones don't want 3 minutes, and it's always a conversation of, well, why am I doing more rounds, or excuse me, more time in the ring if I'm not being paid? So I'm glad to hear that Jake sees it the way that some of these women want it, which is okay. I'll do more minutes, giving me
Yeah,
more money. So
of
equality
course.
is
Yeah.
definitely something that's important, and I'm glad that Jake is talking like he walks it, man. Donald from Baton Rouge. How long is the deal with Most Valuable Promotions, and does it feel? How does it feel working with Jake Paul?
Uh, I'm gonna be with MVP for a little while now. My whole couple years. We'll see how things go. Right now, everything is going very well. The team is really good. Like I've enjoyed working with everyone. Jake's great. Nikisa takes good care of us. They're really trying to put women, on the platform that they deserve. So I'm very happy where I'm at. Very, very happy with my team, and I'm glad that we're working together.
I have Mr. Benny Hinn that says, "What do you feel your opponent does well, and what do you feel you bring to the table that will make you a champion?"
Um, my opponent coming up, I think she's very active. I think that she can bring that pace, and she's a very athletic girl. Which is gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm very excited to see what she has to bring to the table. But yeah, I think she brings a high pace, and she's very athletic. She looks strong. And I think what I bring to the table is my boxing IQ and my work ethic. I'm someone who's meticulous, who works hard, who's determined, and I'm smart, and I'm gonna use that.
I got Ali in San Diego. He says, "Hi Tam, who are your top three favorite women fighters of all time and top three male fighters of all time?"
Oh wow, okay. That's hard to pick from. Um, I would have to say, um, that's a tough one. I would have to say Amanda's up there. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor's up there, and Christy Martin, simply because of the impact that they've had on women's boxing. They use their voice, they use their platform, for what they believe in, and they're unapologetically themselves. For me, for the males as well, it should Muhammad Ali, for what he represents, for who he is. Pernell Whitaker, because he was just such an exceptional boxer, and Andre Ward as well. I feel like he's one of the guys that did it best. Very inspirational. I think all these people for me is who they were inside the ring, but also who they are outside of the ring.
Was Clarissa not mentioned because you see her as a potential opponent?
Oh, Clarissa's great. Like I have nothing against Clarissa. Clarissa's an exceptional boxer. But I'm just speaking for people who've inspired me. right? People who
Right.
inspired me and who I looked up to as a youth. I think Clarissa is an exceptional athlete. You know, she's one of the greatest, and she's changed women's boxing as well.
I think again, I think I only asked because I know the question was your favorite, but when you gave your favorite, you gave reasons because of what they did for women's boxing, and I just figured like, okay, Clarissa, I thought was the first woman to be on television, her and Franchon. I could be wrong. I'm not
Yeah.
like an expert on women's boxing. You
Mm,
know, I've been following it forever,
mm.
but I'm not gonna call myself an expert. We have Malcolm in New York City. What do you think fighters, promoters can do to increase the fan base of women in the sport of boxing? Would love your thoughts. Thank you.
That's a tough question, right? Because that's all business, right? It's about how much. Realistically, it's about how to generate revenue, right? We need bigger platforms. We need more visibility. I think that we need more depth, we need more people in the sport. Like, I think that's also a big difference between men's boxing and women's boxing, is that there's not the same depth. We need to start with the grassroots levels. We need, boxing is seen as a violent sport, but it brings a lot to people, right? So we need to get kids in the ring. We need to make sure that it's safe, obviously, right? The biggest parents concern is like, oh, I don't want my kid to get beat up. But we just have to show boxing in a different light and get more people into it. I think that would make a big difference. We start where, start with grassroots.
I got MPO that says, out of 100%, what percentage would you say boxing is mentally versus physically?
Oh, I would say honestly, it's probably like 80% mental and like 20% physical. A lot of times it's you versus you, right? And you got to learn how to deal with the pressure, how to deal with the adrenaline, how to deal with, someone. No, you're going out there to fight somebody. You know what I mean? It's not like we're not going out there to play a game, good game, that's it. Like, you're going out there to fight somebody, so it takes a lot of courage to do that, and your mind has to be right for that.
I got Future BS. Are you gunning for a Clarissa Shields fight in the future, given that you're also close in age? If not, what is your career defining fight?
We'll see. I'm someone that takes things step by step, right? I'm not in no rush to get nowhere. Uh, I definitely want to become, undisputed champion. I wanna come for it all. I wanna make a difference in my sport. And but it's really, the thing is, when you make plans, sometimes things don't turn out the way you want them, right? So I'm gonna take the opportunities that present themselves.
I got Major Media. For people who never seen you fight, can you describe your boxing style in 4 words? That's tough.
Mm, I'll describe it in three: tall, slick, southpaw.
Some people have you. I know that you're southpaw if I'm watching the fights, but some sites have you listed as orthodox. Do you switch, or was it like a late switch?
I don't know where that come from. I've never switched before. Uh, I was southpaw all my fights. But yeah, I don't know where that come from really.
Okay. I got Z Pacino out of St. Louis. Thanks for your time and congrats on the early success in the pros. Can you share with us the competitive nature you have for boxing? And did boxing choose you, or did you choose boxing?
I think I'm someone that's very, very competitive in my day to day. Like, I strive to be the best at what I do, no matter what I do. And I definitely think, for me, boxing saved me. It was my safe place. It was where I could be mostly, I guess, where I could be myself the most, right? So I think boxing chose me.
I got Quest out of Virginia. He says, "What's up, champ? Blind rank these TV shows. So it's one show at a time and it's 5 total shows, 1 through 5. One being the best, but I'm only giving you one show at a time. First
Okay.
one, Criminal Minds.
Uh, 5,
911.
4.
Law and Order.
Three.
Master Chef.
One.
American Idol.
It has to be two, I guess.
No, but no, we like listening because sometimes they're like, oh, I should have put that number one. All right,
Mm.
shout out to Quest. We got Stock Chasers. Hey Tam, this is Stock Chasers from New York City. I have one question that rolls into others. How do you feel? How do you feel fighting in New York City, home of the New York Stock Exchange, and are you an active investor?
I mean, I'm very, very grateful to box in New York. This is people's dream to fight in MSG, right? And I got to do it my third professional fight, so it's pretty surreal. Uh, am I an active investor? No, but I have active investments, so I don't know if that counts.
I think that counts. I got Alex from Palm Beach, South Florida. What are your thoughts on any level of professional fighters being about to compete in the Olympics? Okay. Do you do you
Uh,
do you like that?
Yeah, of course I like that. Think about tennis, think about soccer, think about water polo, think about volleyball. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so many sports do it. Like, I think that especially in amateur sports, like it's hard to make a living out of our sport in the amateurs, depending on where you're from, depending on your circumstances, right? So I definitely think it should be allowed. So many other sports do it. I don't understand. I don't see why boxing should be any different.
All right. I think that wait, might be the last one. Actually, we have Toledo Treese in Ohio. We've been hearing people say they want Clarissa Shields versus Remy Martin. Is there any celebrity boxing match you would consider? Too soon for that, or you got one in your mind already?
I don't. I've never pictured myself fight a celebrity for any reason,
Hmm.
but I mean, if it happens, it happens. That's kind of weird though for me, you know.
No celebrity you'd like to kick their butt then.
I don't. I don't, see. I don't really know anyone like that to be like, yeah, deserves an ass whooping. Do you know what I mean?
My last one. Do you feel your career or your life deserves a biopic? And I'm not making it about Clarissa, but I did just see the movie, so I'm asking everybody because it was. I should. I feel bad I didn't go watch it and took this long. It was actually really good. I even shed a little tear. That was pretty tough. So now I want to know. I just interviewed Floyd Schofield. I'm like, would you do a movie? And I want to ask you, would you? Because it brought me closer to her. I swear, man. It made me understand her struggle. Like watching her run through the city of Detroit, I'm like, okay, I could see why you became a champ. Like the scenery was horrible. Houses burnt, abandoned houses. Just, I'm like, okay, I see the motivation. So brings me to you. Do you feel there's a biopic there in your life?
There could be, to be honest. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I shouldn't have made it this far. Like, I'm someone that's very private, who I keep my personal life extremely private. Um, but I've been through my own like that's not I don't want to say struggles, but I've been through on my own journey, and there's been a few times where I'm like, you know, didn't think I'd make it this far, and that's why I also am someone that's very grateful, very humble, and very respectful because I know the value of life and I know the value of living it.
Well, Tam, those are all the questions. I thank you for coming on. Wish you the best luck in your upcoming fight. If you want, please take out this time to let anybody know how they can get tickets to watch you live and your social media. And in the meantime, I will screen share.
Yes, so you guys can watch me live Friday, July 11th on Netflix. You can go grab your tickets in the link, I think it's MVP or at Ticketmaster.com. And you gotta follow me on Instagram at Tamm Thibeault.
All right, champ. I appreciate you. Look forward to getting you back on for the victory lap.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tamm Thibeault.